Bonjour. Okay, before we dive into the video, I have something to say. And that is, thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing. That's it. Okay, let's go. When a narcissistic person is not able to exert influence onto you for whatever reason, most of the time to benefit their own narratives, they panic and their fight and flight response activate. So here are the two options. If they can see that they can overpower you physically, they will choose fight. And most of the time in domestic situation, that resorts to domestic violence. And if they know that they cannot fight you and win, then they will flight. In this specific situation, unfortunately for Mr. Brooks, he's in court. He's in custody, and he has chosen to represent himself, so he cannot flight. And he is faced with very dominating male energies, and he's not able to get away. So we're going to see very interesting behavioral reactions that Mr. Brooks is going to go through when he's in front of men. And not only just any men in somewhat of a position of power and authority, and men who do not like him, and men who will be more than happy to get in a scuffle with this lunatic.
Were you aware there was a parade taking place in downtown Waukesha that afternoon?
I was aware that there was a Christmas parade downtown Waukesha.
Were you directly assigned to work the parade?
I was not assigned to work the parade.
You said you were one of the officers that was just involved in general patrol of the city that afternoon.
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
What you just witnessed is Officer Jeremy Phillips not giving a damn about Darrell Brooks. And I'm going to tell you why that is significant. So, narcissistic people, they spin stories around a crumb of fact to benefit what they believe should be fact and truth, which obviously we all know life does not work like that, right? So in Darrell Brooks' mind, he has different scenarios, different stories for different situations in that whole fiasco. He has a different story when it pertains to officers, and he has a different story when it pertains to detectives. Officers, or any officers throughout this trial, he questions them on one particular subject. How do you know it was me? How do you know it was me? How do you know it was me? In his mind, he believes he committed the crime and nobody saw him. Nobody saw him. Therefore, whatever they're saying is not true. Nobody saw me. Nobody saw me. That's why he questions all the officers. The story for the detectives is different. I'll get to that when we get there. So what Jeremy Phillips just did pissed him off. I explain to you later. But Jeremy did not give any attention towards Darrell Brooks. He was talking to the prosecution and talking to the jury. That's it. There was no Darrell Brooks in the entire equation. And that pisses Darrell Brooks off. The best way to annoy a narcissistic person, if you ever want to get revenge on a person that is a narcissist, ignore them. Ignore them. It would eat them alive. Ignore them and they would grovel and they will cry. Ignore them. It would make them feel so insecure they would literally scream and have a mental breakdown. And let's look at that mental breakdown. Let's check that out right now. This is when Darrell Brooks realizes that nobody's paying attention to him. Let's check it out.
Where were you coming from?
I was in the patrol area of Eastmoreland, roughly
that frown
at
in his face, he's
East
trying to
Main Street
understand,
at the
like,
time.
what's going
That's
on?
where I was responding from.
What's going on?
Was
Why
Main
is he
Street
talking
shut
to the
down
jury?
at the time?
Why is he not talking to me? Why is he not looking at
parade?
me? Nobody's caring about me
Main
right
Street
now.
where I
What's
was
going on? What's
responding
happening?
from was
He's
not,
shaking.
no.
Okay.
It gets
I guess
worse.
let me ask a better question. Were you able to travel along
Doesn't
Main
matter
Street
about the
to get
questions
to
right
Frame
now.
Park?
Look how he is just
From where you were
going.
located to get to where you
Boing.
needed to go, did you travel on Main Street?
Listen to me.
I did not travel on Main Street to get to
Shaking.
Frame Park.
Okay. And which direction did you come in from then?
I came in on Eastmoreland,
worse.
westbound, to White Rock Avenue, westbound.
And as you approached the area, could you see individuals
Officer
associated
is
with
not
the
paying
parade?
attention at all. to
Yes, I
Darrell
could,
Brooks.
as I neared the vicinity.
The officer is
What do you
jury
remember seeing?
prosecution, not Darrell Brooks.
As I neared the vicinity
Jury
of
prosecution.
White Rock Avenue at Baxter, directly in front of me appeared to be a unmarked patrol vehicle, silver in color, which was blocking the roadway at White Rock Avenue and Hartwell Avenue. And I believe off to the side, I could also see a marked patrol vehicle.
Could you see any floats or people participating in the parade?
At that particular time, as I arrived in the vicinity, I did not. I just saw the side of a squad car with emergency lights activated. It wasn't until a little while later I saw that there were floats and such on the other side of that patrol vehicle.
The silver colored SUV with lights, red and blue lights activated, do you know whose squad car that was?
That belonged to Sergeant Dave Warner.
Where did you go?
When I arrived to the area, initial dispatch information stated that this alleged fight involving a knife was somewhere in the vicinity of the Schutze building where the boat ramp was. Based on my training and experience of that vicinity, I know that the boat rental checkout is on the back side of the Schutze building. So that's the initial area I responded to and where my attention was drawn to.
This time, Your Honor, I'm going to ask your permission to put up Exhibit 1, which is the map of the area we've been working off of.
Permission granted. Yes.
Do you see that item in front of you, Officer Phillips, on the screen?
I do now.
Okay.
Do you want, oh, it needs to be public. Hold on. Thank you. Sure.
So that is a touch screen in front of you. If you want to draw or circle or anything like that, you may, or you...
Did you see that? I'm going to play this again. These are the two scenarios. It's that little snippet about 4 or 5 minutes where he's having a mental breakdown. A mental breakdown. He's having to self-soothe so much that he's not able to contain the anger that's happening inside. The detective didn't say anything crazy. I'm sorry, not the officer. The officer didn't say anything crazy. The officer is just answering the questions, but no one is paying attention to Darrell Brooks. And you know what? Darrell Brooks doesn't like that. So he's going to say something, and we all know he's going to say something about that, right? And he does. And he does. Listen to what he says.
Teenage years.
Objection.
Overruled, he may answer.
This is the grounds, Your Honor.
Overruled, he may answer.
So is he gonna answer to the question, to
Yes.
the prosecution table, or to the jury? I'm not sure. He's looking at them answering the questions, but they're not answering the question, asking the questions.
You may answer the question, sir.
The three individuals.
Yes. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Nobody's talking to me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This MF, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Objection. He's talking to the jury and the prosecution. So, I mean, the judge was like, overrule. Like, she was like, you could sense what she was thinking. She was like, what the sit down, Darrell Brooks. Did you see that objection? Now, that was a good 30 minutes. He objected. It was 30 minutes of nothing but the officer, the prosecution, and the jury. And the entire time he was like feeling on his seat. Oh my God, nobody's talking to me. Yeah, I'm telling you, the best, if you want to stick it to them, narcissist people, narcissistic. Look, you guys in the comments below were very mad that look, the word narcissism, it's so hard for my tongue to pronounce. And narcissistic, like, you don't understand how much effort my muscles have to do to get that out. So if I make the mistake, I'm sorry. Maybe it's subconsciously, consciously doing it. But listen to me, okay? Okay? Because this is like so funny to me. The best way to get at those people, ignore. Look, take scissors, cut it out of your life, and they will be tumbling in circles, fidgeting in circles like he is. Nothing happened, but to this man, it's a big deal that nobody's talking to him. Do you understand? This is a murder of 6 people, and he is mad that no one is talking to him. If I was him, I'd be like, oh, thank God, I get a break. Oh, I get a little break, you know, because I'm normal. But this guy wants you to talk to him. Officer Jeremy. But no, it's not over. It's not over. It's not over, because Darrell Brooks wants answers. Darrell Brooks wants answers. So, Officer Jeremy Phillip, you have to answer to him. Okay? Let's go for answers.
I notice, Officer Phillips, you are in uniform this afternoon. Were you scheduled to work today?
Yes.
So it would be fair to say that you would be on duty as of now if you weren't giving testimony in this matter.
I would be on duty right now, yes.
So it will also be fair to ask if it would be fair to say that you giving testimony right now, you're still getting paid for it?
I am currently employed by the City of Waukesha Police Department on a working patrol shift, on a normal shift for myself, yes.
So with that, would it be fair to say that you are getting paid right now as we speak?
He said yes.
Yes, I'm getting paid right now.
By whom?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained. Next question.
Do you know what? Let me tell you why this might be weird to you. Okay? Because Darrell Brooks has created a new story. The story with all the officers in Darrell Brooks' mind is the story that no one identified me. Therefore, you don't know it's me. But for Officer Jeremy Phillips, a new story has been created because Officer Phillip only talks to the jury and the prosecution. And that new story is he's in cahoots with the prosecution. Therefore, it's a conspiracy theory. He just created a conspiracy theory right in front of our eyes. He just made up a new story in his mind right in front of us in that moment where he couldn't believe. I can't believe nobody's paying attention to me. It must be a conspiracy theory. I'm telling you, Officer Jeremy Phillips is now a conspirator with the state to prosecute this man for murdering 6 people. In his mind. Because listen to where the questions go. Listen to this, right? Listen. Stupid.
Were you subpoenaed by the plaintiff in this matter?
What?
Can you rephrase the question?
Were you subpoenaed to testify here today by the plaintiff?
Can you explain it in another way?
That was pretty clear. Were you subpoenaed to testify by the plaintiff in this matter?
I was subpoenaed by the Waukesha County Prosecution's Office to testify in this matter.
And can you say that again just for the record?
I was subpoenaed by the Waukesha County Prosecution's Office in this matter.
Is the Waukesha County Prosecution's Office the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection, irrelevant.
Sustained.
Completely irrelevant. Completely. It's not even, is it? Maybe it's irrelevant to the case. He seems to forget that he is on trial for murder of 6 people. Like, just to give you an idea that in his mind, it's a Darrell Brooks show. In his mind, it doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter it doesn't even matter what the victims think. What matters is what he thinks. And he thinks that because the officers has not paid attention to him all day, then the officer must be a conspirator with the state. Oh.
Do you know of any plaintiff in this matter?
Objection, irrelevant.
Sustained.
Have you ever seen the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection, irrelevant.
Have you ever talked
Sustained.
Have you ever talked to the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection, irrelevant.
Sustained.
Look at the prosecution. They're like, she's like, girl, what? I know. Look. I'll play it again. She's like, what the fuck, girl? I don't know. Objection, though. Look. Let's play one more time. Look at the guy. Look at the guy on the other side. He's like, what the hell is going on? And look, the full prosecutor is just like he's not even paying attention. He's like, whatever, he's a loser. He's not paying attention, but they're going through the gambit. That's what I'm going right now. They're like on the verge of laughing. Do you understand? Do you understand? Sorry, it's not COVID. I'm just having a good time. All right, let's play.
Why are you continuing to look at parties that are not asking the questions?
Objection, argumentative.
Sustained.
Argumentative. Yes, he wants to fight. Why are you looking at the jury, Jeremy? Why are you looking at the jury, Jeremy? Why are you looking at the jury? I'm an idiot, aren't I? I know. All right. Do you see that sigh? He's angry. He's angry that he didn't get an answer because an objection was raised and the judge sustained it. By the way, it's sustained, not substained. In addition to saying axe, he said substain, which is just irritates my ears. But anyway, so he's pissed. Oh, he's pissed. And you're going to know he's pissed, okay? He's not done.
And just so we're clear for the record, you did not talk to the plaintiff about testifying.
Objection, vague.
Sustained.
Did you say vague? Were you contacted in any way by the plaintiff to testify here today?
Objection, irrelevant.
Sustained.
Do you know if there's even a plaintiff in this matter?
She give up?
I was contacted by the Waukesha County District Attorney's Office to testify in this case.
Even the officer is laughing.
Do you know if that's the plaintiff in this matter?
Oh my God.
Generally, in a criminal case, the plaintiff would be the state of Wisconsin. That is my assumption in this case. That
He
the
wants to
plaintiff
laugh.
is the state of
He wants to
Wisconsin.
laugh.
So the state of Wisconsin is the plaintiff in this matter to your knowledge?
That would be correct, yes.
No further questions.
All right, thank you. Do you have any redirect?
He is trying to go with the initial story that, you don't know who I am. Nobody ID'd me. But he's having a very difficulty even for him to stay on track with that story because he's so distracted at the fact that how come Officer Jeremy is not looking at me? Why is Officer Jeremy looking at the state and looking at the jury? He can't focus on anything else but that because he believes that there's a conspiracy between the officer, the jury, and the state. And he doesn't know how to exploit it. And even though he came to court prepared with the questions of like, you can't ID me, now he's like fumbling because it's no longer about ID. It's about this conspiracy that he created in his head. And also pay attention to his demeanor. Do you remember when he was in the last video I made when he was interviewing Erica Patterson? How much, right? He is meek. Do you remember? And the reason why he's meek is because he feels unimportant. And when a narcissistic person feels unimportant and they can't run away and they can't fight back, they just fizzle. He's weak. What is he going to do? Beat up the officer? He knows he can't. He's weak. He's weakened. All it took was just the man, and he's weak.
You also stated that you were about 50 feet from the well, you added the vehicle in too. You said maybe 50 feet, and then depending on the length of the vehicle, would that be fair to say?
Yes.
And from where you are here to here, because it would be fair to say we can't see a vehicle in the picture at that point. Would that be fair to say? We can't see a vehicle that would be facing you because you said it was facing you. We can't see a vehicle. Would that be fair to say?
From this angle of vehicles obstructed, yes.
So that would be 50 feet from, approximately 50 feet from X to X.
Approximately.
And you were able to see the driver and a description from where you're standing now to where the other X is.
Yes.
Do you see this? Yeah, yes, I can see. Are you able to tell the difference? Yes, it's a crosswalk away. Do you see what he's trying to say? Insinuate that this is too far for you to tell the difference between a person. Is he mental? Oh, he is mental. But do you see this? Can you tell the difference between X and X? Yes, 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 yes.
And you were able to make out the race of the driver
Yes!
from where you were at.
Yes!
I guessed.
Okay, well, he was
So you're
nicer
not-
than me.
you're not-
I'm like, yeah, I could tell who the hell that is.
I wasn't for certain at that time.
Sure. Ugh.
So what conclusion were you coming to at that point? Just an educated guess, or
Can you explain further?
How-
Conclusion
how-
for what?
would it be fair to say that
It was you. It was you.
your guess could have been inaccurate?
No. I'm telling you, man, that's the stories. The stories that no officer saw him. No matter how you spin it, in his mind, no one saw him. No one saw him. You could, like, he could be like, I saw you. Look, he says, I saw you. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No. I saw you. No, you didn't. The description is from social media. You didn't see me. Woo!
You will be able to see here if you describe the driver wearing a hoodie.
Yes.
Yes!
Be able to see here and tell the length of the hair.
If it's hanging out of the hoodie, yes.
Yes!
Well, you didn't say, all fairness, you didn't say it was hanging out of the hoodie, you just referred to the hair.
Yes.
Yes.
Is it,
Hold on, there's been an objection. I believe the witness understood the question, so I'll overrule the objection. His answer may stand. Next question.
Do you know why he's arguing? Because he's like, no. I saw you. I saw you. Did you see me? Yes. Yes.
is it any possible way you could have gotten a description from the news reports instead of what you actually recall?
No.
And how did you determine that?
Oh, God.
In the report I gave in my statement, I described what I saw that day.
Okay.
Not what I saw on the news.
Okay.
And you also described two different colors of dress. Once you said gray and one you said white. Would that be fair to say?
I said that the item in the video appeared to be white.
Did you not say that the item moved? As you say item, did you not say the item moved from where it was at?
Yes.
He is looking for anything to discredit the testimony that, hey, you didn't see me. Oh, but you said it was white, but I was gray. Is it gray or is it white? It was moving, was not moving. He's just throwing straws at the wall and see what sticks. But unfortunately, he threw the straws on the floor. Nothing stuck. Wasn't that a stupid joke? It was a stupid joke. Let's go.
Would it be fair to say that there can be no movement to an item if it wasn't a person?
Yes.
A person that you described wearing white?
On the video screen, it appeared white. It appeared light colored or white.
Aren't you exhausted by these questions? It's literally the same. It's literally the same. Let me explain to you how that works in his mind. He has one story, and the story, which is I told you, is that nobody saw me. You could say, I saw you. Nope. Somebody saw you. Nope. So what he does is he circles around endlessly until he finds a nugget of fact so he can throw into the story. So he's doing like a short run around and he's looking for anything he can grasp around that would justify his story. Oh, but you said it was white, but not as great. Which one is it? Did you really see me? Oh, how about this report? Oh, wait, did you get it from the report? Did you really see me? Anything around. And so the reason why they are masters at gaslighting is because at some point of him going around, you get confused because he's asking the same question over and over and over and over in different ways. And you're like, did I answer that? Did I not answer that? I thought I answered that. Until you give him nuggets that he can use against you so he can finally get to the determination that, oh, see, told you you didn't see me. So at some point during this thing, you might get confused. You might get confused and annoyed and tired from hearing the same thing. It's essentially the same questions that's being asked in different methods. And that's why it was objection argumentative. Like, dude, like you're literally arguing. He told you no. He told you yes, he saw you. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you understand? So, because at some point there, like, eventually, I was somewhere down the line, I got a little confused myself because I was just like, oh man, I'm tired of listening to this. He answered you already, right? To the regular world, we would be gaslit because we'd be like tired. But these are professional. These are professional. Like, and you're in a court of law where it's fact. You can't just like, oh yeah, sure. Oh yeah, why not? No, it's a yes or no. It's pretty factual. And so that's why they don't do well in front of facts. You, like a narcissistic in front of a wall of fact is literally a narcissist jumping off the building. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. It's like kryptonite. So now I'm going to fast forward to where, because, he keeps going around in circles, right? Looking for facts. But I'm going to fast forward to the point where the guy is actually an expert in collision, in crashes. And look at Darrell Brooks' reaction to that, okay?
So why would you report it as a hit and run crash if you were not sure what it was?
Well, based on my training experience as a crash investigator, that's what I thought it was.
What you gonna do, Darrell? What you gonna do, Darrell? You see his face? He's like, oh, right. Oh, crap. He didn't know what else to say because there was nothing else to say because this is words coming from an expert, someone who has had training in crash investigation. So there was no need to do an investigation. He is the guy. He is the one. He's the investigation himself, in quotes. It's fascinating how like he's circling around and it seemed there from his body language that, oh, I got something. I got him. And it was like, no, you don't. And then crumbled. Because immediately, I'll play it again. Immediately, he didn't know what to say. Look at that. That arrow when he went like that, it's a thought. So he was thinking. It was thinking on the feet, couldn't find something. Too embarrassed to rebuttal. So then he looks down and acts as if he's writing something. He's not writing anything. He's still thinking for something to say around the story. But the guy just literally closed the door on that pathway. He closed the door of his pathway to get to that thing of like, you didn't ID me. He closed that door. And Darrell Brooks didn't know what to do. And you could see on the prosecutor's face, he's like, look, even the girl was like, yo, what an idiot. Like, what idiot? And he's like, oh, yeah, totally. Look. And then he goes, watch this. Are you ready? Well, let's watch.
You see exhibit number 120 on the screen in front of you?
Yes.
You see the person who appears to be behind the driver's wheel of the red SUV in that picture?
Objection. What is the relevancy?
What is the relevancy?
Yes.
How would you describe the color of the shirt that person's wearing?
Light gray or white?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right now. You know he saw this and he was like, ah! This right here, checkmate.
Overruled, you may answer.
Overruled.
That we weren't going to take the risk of an extra potentially unnecessary transport back to that facility. You couldn't be held there. You couldn't be held at the sub. There's no beds.
You referred to interrogation starting at a specific place. I'm referring to the substation. Is it fair to say that there was no interrogation that took place at the substation?
Yes.
Yes, that's fair to say.
There was no interrogation at the substation in Waukesha.
Do you recall what information was obtained at the substation?
Yes.
Do you recall what that was?
Yes.
Can you state for the jury and for the record what information you obtained at the substation?
Yes, sir. Basic biographical information. So I obtained your first name, Darrell Brooks, your last name being Brooks, your full middle name, I should say, being Edward. I learned that you were a junior, the date of birth, February 21st, 1982. Additional information obtained was your home address, which was you provided as 4014 North 19th Street in the city of Milwaukee. Phone number, your emergency contact, which you provided as Dawn Woods, whether you were employed, going to school. I remember talking with you about your tattoos and other physical marks that might be on your body, your hair color, eye color, photographs were taken, things of that nature.
Kept mentioning that name, pretty slick.
Sure, disregard that last statement. Sir, please ask questions. You'll have an opportunity to testify later.
Oh, I got a lot of questions. And at that point in the investigation, what did you initially know?
At that point, we knew that the red Ford Escape had driven through the parade route and that you'd been identified as a suspect.
And why was that information not provided at that time to the detainee?
The information at the time wasn't presented to you, Mr. Brooks, because, as I stated in my earlier testimony, it was still very fluid. It was very chaotic out at the scene. There was still a lot more that needed to be learned.
So is that standard procedure to not tell a person why they're being detained?
Well, we didn't not tell you. That's incorrect, and it's misleading to the court. You were informed you were being detained for prowling, loitering, disorderly conduct of that nature.
Is that the same as...
Can I finish, please? I just didn't bring out the parade part of it.
Why not?
As I stated in earlier testimony, it was very fluid and chaotic, and a lot of information wasn't yet known. So I was waiting to receive more information.
Did you state in your early testimony if that was standard procedure or not?
It's standard.
So with every detainee that you've ever detained during your career, 18 years, right?
Yes.
It's standard procedure to not tell someone being detained what they're detained for.
As I had stated in my earlier testimony, Mr. Brooks, I explained to you you were detained for prowling and loitering and disorderly conduct. Based on the lack of information on the parade, that was not brought up. So what I can clarify for the court at this point is that in situations where so limited information exists early on, it is standard not to convey that information to suspects.
And what do you mean by it's standard?
I mean that I don't tell them because I don't have all the facts yet, and I'm not looking to necessarily accuse them before I know the nature of what they did or didn't do exactly pertaining to that incident.
So it'd be fair to say that it was not a fact as far as the information you learned to that point in the investigation.
Objection made.
Grounds.
Sustained is to the form of the question.
So at that point in the investigation, it wasn't a fact.
Objection, same question.
Grounds.
Sustained is to the form of the question.
At that point in the investigation, the information you had at that time, you weren't sure about.
I guess which part?
All the information that you had up until that point.
Okay, about the prowling or parade, I don't understand which part of it you're talking about.
All the information that you've obtained at that point in the investigation, you weren't sure about. As you just said, you don't try to assume guilt or anything like that until you have all the facts. So at that time, at that point in the investigation, is it fair to say that the information that you had obtained so far, you were not sure about?
I wasn't sure if you were the driver initially, but it was believed you were involved.
And you knew that to be fact?
Yes, the information being provided was that you were involved.
So it'd be fair to say you knew that as a fact?
Well, hold on. I'm going to not allow him to answer that.
All right, let me make this scenario a little clearer for you. These two have met before, and the line of questioning is, of course, very weird, but it will make more sense once you watch this.
So
people
now
reported, all those
okay,
people out there,
no.
they reported that car driving a bit erratic.
I know what you're saying. All I'm saying is this. We all been straight up with each other. You knew it was more to what you was asking me yesterday.
Didn't know
That would
sure.
explain the FBI and all that, right?
They're not here today. So if it's that big a deal, you don't see him here today.
Come on, Kurt. Hey, we been.
You guys met in the car in the park.
We been cool, man, the whole time. If I did something wrong,
that's why they were here. But do you see him here today? They're not here today.
Yeah, but y'all lied to me, man. You made it seem like they just come for no reason.
Well, here's the thing, Darrell.
And I'm like, what
Hey,
if it's
listen to
that?
me for a minute.
I apologize.
I can give you a clean slate here.
I apologize.
Because you have lied to us as well. Because you came out here in the red Ford Escape. Okay, that is what you came out here in. You had the key. Alright? So what I want to do is try to give us all a chance to reset. You understand what I'm saying? Start over. Because you're not giving us an accurate story. You didn't ride out with Marcus in a tan car. You said your mom doesn't have a car. I've just told you we've disproven that. All right? I don't know what kind of woman she is. I don't know what you all been through. But you were seen in the car driving kind of acting a fool. Okay? In basically the same area that you've already been able to describe to me. I'm just trying to figure out how and why it happened. What made you tear out of there? What made you so mad where you're like...
As you see, Darrell Brooks had a very specific story for that specific detective. That detective was among the very first person that was able to establish a successful rapport with Darrell Brooks, a very friendly exchange. in a weird way, Darrell Brooks trusted him in his mind, in his head. But, you know, it wasn't a sense of trust in the way that me and you might trust one another. Darrell Brooks felt like he had established enough of an influence because the detective was responding in positive ways towards Darrell Brooks. The detective was reciprocating his friendship. And so in Darrell Brooks' mind, he was like, oh, this is the one I was able to enchant. But what Darrell Brooks failed to understand is that these detectives are trained in establishing rapport. If anything, Darrell Brooks made the life of the detective a lot easier because it was easier to create rapport with Darrell Brooks. And at that moment that the video I showed you is when the detective actually revealed his scar to Darrell Brooks. Like, I'm not really your friend. I don't know what world you live in, but we're not friends. And here's why I'm here for. And Darrell Brooks realized that he was lied to. Essentially, he was. And he couldn't take that. He couldn't handle that. He couldn't let go. That whole questioning, when Darrell Brooks was talking to the detective, it was for one purpose. Darrell Brooks wanted to know what the detective knew at the time of their rapport. Darrell Brooks wanted to know, did you lie to me? I know you lied to me. I'm going to prove to you you lied to me. Did you lie to me? You lied to me. Nobody lies to me. Why did you lie to me? I thought we were friends. I thought we were friends. You lied to me. I thought we were friends. Darrell Brooks is a scorned friend. And the detective is like, I'm not your friend. Wait, before we go, I want to do a quick plug-in. You know, I've just met you guys like a few days ago, and it's the best, one of the best experiences of my life. But, you know, some of the people in the comments below were saying that, oh, is this a finance channel? What kind of channel is this? To be quite honest, yes, it was originally my landlord journey and a little bit of motivational / financial tip stuff. But clearly, y'all don't like that. So, no, I'm going to pursue the commentary. But, you know, I've did some pre-recorded content before. So every Monday, you're going to get a random finance commentary, something stupid that's going to come out. Just let it be, all right? Just entertain me, look at it, but I will try to distract you every Monday at noon, so maybe you don't see it, all right? So don't be mad, don't be understanding, and thanks. In a narcissist's mind, you'll never be right. They will always be right and you will always be wrong, because to them, their reality is specific to the day, to the minute, to the hour, to the moment, to their mood. You could say, yes, I love you. And then you could say it again minutes later, but you said it in the wrong way. So therefore, that's it. You're in a doghouse. Like, there's nothing you can do to please them. The only way to please them is to disappear, is to not be around them. That's the only way to please them. They can never be happy. It is such a severe self-esteem disorder that nothing makes them happy because they are constantly insecure. They're constantly second-guessing themselves, and they're constantly questioning their outer shell. Is my appearance okay? Do I look okay? Am I hot? Am I gorgeous? Aren't I gorgeous? Aren't I beautiful? I'm so smart. I'm not so smart. I'm not the smartest person ever. I'm amazing. I'm not amazing. They constantly need words of affirmation. Do you know how exhausting that is? And people, regular human beings, can't do that. We can't do that. I mean, you know, I gotta go to work. I gotta go to bed. I'm really tired. I'm sick. I'm annoyed. Leave me alone. Don't talk to me. Like, we're normal human beings have a gambit of emotions. We can't always be like, you're amazing. You're so great. You're amazing. Oh my God, you're so smart. Oh my God, there's nobody smarter. You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. Who does that? Who does that all the time, every day? Like, nobody has that time to strike your ego, okay? But that's what they need. Now, if you're one of those people who can provide that, then I guess you're immune to a narcissist. You're immune. But then you probably have problems yourself. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for listening to this rant. Look, the video was shorter. I did my best to zero in on my thoughts and make it shorter. So I won't take any more of your time. I will improve my content better, make it more efficient, shorter, much more digestible, you know. And oh boy, I am working, okay? You guys are making me work. I am studying. I'm working. I'm learning on the fly. Like, I've never been so on, and I'm so sleep deprived. I'm so exhausted. Anyway, like, subscribe. I see you next week.